XRP started showing some bullish movements in the market. The price action made sure that the divergence, the bullish divergence formed here, went up. We got a micro breakout, and this is all happening while on the other side, Ether, the largest altcoin, is still at this range. Yes, it is true that it's starting to make that bullish divergence, but it did not bounce yet. So that gives some added advantage. And it is also true that Bitcoin is showing you this kind of a structure, which if plays out, we would be most likely looking at something like this. Now, will a drop like this come? I'm not sure, but the odds for that should not be neglected. Yes, it is true that in the market you see a lot of these stuff, especially related to Bitcoin, the halving, how these institutional clients are dropping more money into Bitcoin, how these discussions about Bitcoin is now getting mass media attention, bringing people in with $1 million target. That really doesn't look good. Honestly, when these guys actually start shilling a coin, an asset, that means they want you to come and buy, but if the supply is really in shock, who the hell is selling? Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. I posted this chart earlier today saying this is going to be a great asset to ride. If you're a spot rider, just buy and go through this phase. That was like at $6. What happens is that the price just pumps close to like $9. So that's like a 50% pump on the same day. Those few who actually took the opportunity and went on with it, they really made those gains. The reality of that is you need to get these information at the right time. And that's one of the reasons why people come into the SI family. That's one of the reasons why the SI family is growing. Now, if you're here and watching this video gives you value, if you believe that, smash that like button for me. Now, let's get started. If you do look at the charts with honest, open mindset, now the question which you would be asking yourself is like, okay, this trend, if it's coming back up there, this is something we are looking at. Maybe it's not the exact same thing which is playing out. Maybe this is like a double bottom, agreed, you went up, you had this bull flag, you break higher, maybe you slow down here, you enter here. But if that's the move, then the corrective move next time can be bigger. What do you think? I personally think the odds for that is increasing. Let me explain why I think so. If you do look at the same on a daily chart, I would look at this candle and say, okay, last time we discussed about the speciality of this one bull. That's okay, that's good. So if that one candle pushed the price up and it takes 2 or 3 candles to come back down till this point, it can be a rising 2 or a rising 3 kind of a move, which would look like, okay, the price is going to come back up and you will make a new local high. But remember, Bitcoin and the people who trade Bitcoin or the whales have some, what we say, characteristics, where they kind of invite people saying it's a breakout and then kick it down. So this is not the first time we have seen these guys doing that, whether it's a local corrective kick to the downside or a medium-term range kick. They actually bring all these people in with all these mass media attention and then, boom, they kick them out, right? So if you go levered, they are literally using these kind of things to kick you out. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I've seen this. You come at a point, get rejected first, slow down, and then go back up to make a new local high. And then the real flush comes in. So if that's true here, if that's true here, if that's true here, and here, maybe we're going to see something like that here. Maybe it is going to give you the idea that I'm going to go break this to the next leg and then boom. Now, how low can that go? That's the big deal to understand. Because if the price is to drop after that, it's going to whoop the altcoins as well, for sure. even though I'm bullish on a lot of altcoins, if you are levered at that point where it reverses, it's a concern. It's a concern. So you need to understand the fact that the market can do very stupid things because the whales, they don't want you, me, and others to make money so easily. Now, I wouldn't say what we are doing here is so easy, but it's a lot more patience and discipline. But they don't want you to get to that level. So they'll do a lot of manipulative move. Right now, they're showing you it's going to drop. And then they'll push it back to the upside. The moment you close your shorts and go bullish, boom, they just come back as the magicians to take all the money as liquidity. Now, the short-term trend line inside this is what I'm looking at. If it does drop heavy, then usually it's a 20% drop, so you can look for 58. But when we do drop that much, there should be a long wick. The panic in the market with all these new mom and pop kind of investors entering without much of an education about how the Bitcoin market moves, it can be volatile. And I'm saying this in a way, XRP, when it starts to move, Bitcoin doesn't like it, man. For some reason, they don't like it. They want to push the market down one way or the other. But when you come on a daily chart, XRP says like, nah, see this? The price didn't break through. But the RSI did go down. So a lot of sellers entered into this asset trying to push the price lower, but they failed. They failed miserably. So a retest and a bounce here would create a double bottom and then a new ride to the upside. That would again bring more and more attention. But imagine we reach $1.20, $1.50, and Bitcoin is now at that height, say 75, 77, that kind of a range, and it's about to drop. We may drop back, right? Even though we are at 150, we may come back down, maybe to 0.8, maybe to 0.6. Yes, it's a higher low and you're trending higher. That's good, but it slows the market down. So you need to be prepared for that aspect. And that's one of the reasons why I'm saying watch how this is evolving. Because it is important for us to know you literally have to look at which direction the money is flowing. And if you are going against that money flow, it's going to be really hard. Remember, there was a time, maybe 2 weeks back, where I was arguing that, guys, the Bitcoin dominance is about to come back up to this range of resistance because last 2 times it got rejected there. Great. If you see that here, I'm happy. It's better to ride that move in the altcoins, which is great. But you need to focus on one thing. Which of these assets are highly correlated with Bitcoin? Which of them are kind of, whooping the retail? So when you look at these on a short-term chart and you're like, okay, there's a lot of volatility. Remember, you also have to understand the macro direction. The history of this particular asset and the drop it has done should be something you should keep in your mind. 20% drop in this asset is not anything new. So that means you can still look at the price dropping towards 3250. That's okay. That's cool because this asset has done that over a long period of time. So don't panic when that happens. But just like Bitcoin, you're also seeing these drops here. You drop 15, 16%, then you go back up, create a new high, and then drop big. Same, you grind higher, make a bubble, and then come back down. So they do this stuff, whether it's altcoins or Bitcoin. So that's one of the reasons why when we argue with the market that I think it's going to happen, yeah, fine, you're taking your bet into that direction, but don't go super high levered. These guys know where your stop losses are. They're going to hunt you down. That's really bad if you are like 5x, 10x, 20x. It's going to be super hard. So the market, if this is the bottom and you got the bottom here and you're a 3x trader, okay, maybe you're safe. That's okay, right? But if you are 5x here, that's bad. If you were 5x here, you're already out. So you need to know what the market is showing you. And that's one of the reasons why we spend this much time and effort into the SI family. So you guys know which of these assets are spot riding. It's breaking through. You have a massive opportunity. If you're like, I don't have time to trade. I buy and I forget for 2, 3, 4 months. Yeah, there are certain assets like this, which is like maybe 5, 6 assets which we identified just in last week, and they're starting to do good. right? They are standing against Bitcoin. They're showing the strength. So if you want to join the SI family and get those, look for the link in the description below on YouTube or in the bio on Twitter. So guys, again, if you haven't smashed the like button yet, I would request, consider doing that. Smash that. Before we drop the video, I would like to reiterate the fact. When you look at XRP, you also have to understand it's an asset in the market. It won't go independently to the sky. If the market is dropping, if Bitcoin is shaking all down, all those crazy things are happening, yeah, for sure, this guy will also be slow. But the benefit is you're maintaining this local high. Now, the worst case scenario, if you are looking at what's negative, if you bounce here and come back down and then break this, that's negative. You really don't want to see that. Now, what if that happens, right? What's the next level which you would be looking at? If it's me, I would look for around 0.52. So if you are going 5x, 10x level, even on this asset, which is starting to go up, and even individuals who I respect the most in TA terms, shows that it's starting, I'm like, yeah, I agree. But the thought process is you cannot be straightforward in this market. These, the whales here, they don't like you and me. They really want to take our cash on the other side. So they'll play with the emotions, especially when you're on an hourly chart, short-term trading. They are going to do that as much as possible. So play on a daily, weekly direction, and that would be comparatively safer. Understand your supports and the retracements. If it's me, I would use those as opportunity to ride. And I'm not sure, this is not respective to the prices going there. Most likely we may end here as a trap, putting a new high, and then boom, maybe, right? So be prepared for such a scenario, even though the media is giving you $1 million target, even though the media is talking about, how the supply and demand is to push the price higher, super bullish, that kind of a narrative. Don't fall for that. Think about where the price action is now. Understand that in a weekly, monthly scenario, you've gone through the sky, and a drop here on a weekly chart shows you it's going to be painful. If it doesn't go back up to make a new top, or at least a retest here, it's going to be really painful for those who believe it's going to be $1 million, $250,000, like that, right? Usually by the time that weekly candle comes down and closes, if it's to do this, remember this is like the Monday here. So you have a week to play out. So during that week, maybe next 3 days, next 4 days, imagine like this. You have this candle closing somewhere here. Fine. The next candle start to move up. 2 days, it comes to the upside. So that's Tuesday, that's Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If that's it, then yeah, the weekly candle is going back to that same direction, and it's showing you something on the price action side if it come back down and close it. A reversal, right? Whether it's a macro reversal or a micro reversal, you can argue, debate, whatever you want to do, but keep in mind that reversal can be painful. And even if you are in alts and levered at that time, have dry powder, maybe 40, maybe 50, maybe 50, 60, maybe 100%. But if you don't have dry powder, it's going to be painful. The margin calls would be so bad. So make sure you're watching the market, you're following the market. And if you want guidance on that, be here in the SI family. So that's it for today, guys. I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.